going, everybody? I'm Drifty from Driftwood Gaming. I'm going to pop out the chat so I can see if people are typing, and we're going to get started in just a second. Hey Locksmith, how you doing? Royal Crown Code, what's up Royal? How you doing? Anthony Browning, greetings. Back at you, my dude. So I had somebody make this bumper intro like last year sometime. I think I paid like 25 bucks to have it done, or 15 or 20 bucks. It was pretty cheap. The guy did a good job. And I keep forgetting to use it. I make videos and then I edit them and I keep forgetting to throw this in there. So I thought, why not have it as a good little background while I start my live streams, just to have something animating in the background until we kind of get going. I post links and give just a minute or two for some people to hop in and for us to get started. And I'm going to try to remember to put this on my edited videos. I don't like huge intros, but it's 7 seconds, and it's, you know, it's kind of perfect. It's what I want it to be, just a 7-second animated intro, simple sound effect and whatnot. So I'm going to put this at the beginning of the videos. Try to remember anyway. The new schedule for tutorials is 1 to 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do it every week, 1 new tutorial every week, but I'm not going to promise that. I'm going to do the best I can. Some I can do quickly, and some take a lot of research to like learn where you can where the pitfalls are, so that I can cover, all right, one thing to look out for when using this plugin, etc., is this and that, and you can't just pick up all those learned techniques instantly. You have to use them for a while. So some plugins take a while to learn and experience in like conflicting problems you might have with other plugins. So sometimes it'll take me more than 1 week to do a tutorial on a plugin, but the general idea is I'm going to go through Yanfly's newest plugins and make my way back through his whole catalog. I might skip some if they're just like they don't need a tutorial. I don't know. I might put out a 1-minute video on it if I need to. Anyway, that's the idea. I don't think I'm going to get through Yanfly's entire catalog, but I'll do my best, and it gives me a direction in general what I can head off and do that. Rock of Fire tutorials are awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Like I said, I'll do my best to keep them coming once a week, and if I can't do that, I'll do my best to do it once every 2 weeks. I'll put a link to those in the Patreon as well. When I do a tutorial video, I'll also link it so that you can see them all in the Patreon. Alright, yeah, let's get started. So I'll just try to remember to use this intro, this animated intro that I paid for. In today's live stream, we're not going to be messing around with this tutorial game. We're going to be doing Legend of Driftwood. We still have a lot of bug fixing and balancing to get through. Once again, I'm not going to be using any music. If you want music, put it on another tab. Listen to whatever you like to listen to. Ebel Sir, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. If you guys have any suggestions or questions or things you'd like to talk about, go ahead and put it in the chat, and I will read over them. Jasper, heyo, how you doing? Stalker Rogan, it's good to see you there. Okay, so yesterday's episode, we were testing a playthrough, and we finally got our bard in the party, right? And for the first time, we got Dark Hero, and then I think I was answering a question, but what I wanted to do was edit the skills, because we tested his skills, and they didn't have enough starting value, and I was showing you how to use variables in the damage formula. So I'm going to start off by adjusting those skills, so when we get the bard, his skills don't suck really bad. And you can see we're using a custom execution, so whenever we use a skill, it's going to it's going to increment that skill. Basically, what it's saying is create a temporary variable, set it to the value of 10, and then add to it. And then we're saying if this skill is less than or equal to 1,000, yeah, if x is less than or equal to 1,000, then set 10 to x, or set variable 10 to the value of x. If it's over 1,000, then it's not going to set that. So this is our cap. This is so that our skill can't get over 1,000, so our skills don't get too overpowered. But they need a bonus. They need to have some sort of like at the beginning when you first use your skills, they're super weak, but they need to have a base value. So I'm going to say plus 100 on the peons, as well as this. Restores HP to the party based on your bard's peon skill. What this should actually say is will bring fallen members back to life, because it's not restoring HP to the party, it's just bringing those back to life. And but then we're not, there's nothing, revives fallen, I need to change some things. Revives fallen party members. Simple enough. And the same thing happens here. You get HP based on the variables, and it we're using custom execution in here. It will restore HP, but like it's going to only give HP to those who have been knocked unconscious. I don't think the bard should start with all of them, so I wanted to address the levels that the bard gets his spells. So let me go to my classes and go to the bard and look at the levels. So we start at 18 when we get the bard. So I need to increase the levels of all of these a little bit. So let's say the healer's peon would be 15, and then this one will be 16. This one will be 17, and this one will be 18. So when you get the bard, he has 4 skills, but he quickly learns more skills. So when you level up to 19, you get another one, DJ, another one, 23, 24, 25, there we go. So he gets a new spell every level. By the time you get him, he'll have 4. He doesn't need to have 8 or 9. We also need to adjust all of these skills. So we'll start at the healer's peon, and we need to adjust this by giving 2 different variables. I'm going to use a quick notes to look at my variables quickly. So I'm going to open this event, and I'm going to look at my variables because I need to see which ones I'm using. So I'm using 5 to 14. I'm going to press the Windows key S or Shift, and then I'm going to press S, and then I'm going to highlight right here and go like this. This is a little trick that if you're using Windows 10 you can do, right? And what I'll do now is paste this somewhere. We can just go File, New, and it'll take those dimensions. I'm going to press Control V. So now I've got this little thing that I can put up on my other window to look at as a reference. So on my left screen, I've got this so I can remember what number I'm working on. This is a cool little trick. Mushri, how you doing? Jamie Cassidy, it's good to see you. So now that I've got that, let me move this as well. Actually, I can close that little script. Alright, so now that I've got that to look at, I can reference my numbers much easier. So in my skills, my healer's peon, I want to use my bard skill and the peon skill. So variable 10 is my bard peon skill. So I will start with variable 5, which is my bard skill, times 2 plus the peon times 5 plus 100. Good. And for this formula, variable value 10 times 6 So this is our HP to restore. Okay, if the member, and then you gain HP of X, and then where do I increment it? X equals X divided by 6, and then plus plus X. I need to take a look at this code again. I think, I mean, when I made it, I was like, okay, I got it working, but I'm always questioning my code. So I'll have to test this a little bit and see how that actually runs to see if it works on all allies. Where is it removing state? How is this Phoenix Peon bringing him back to life? I might have been like, oh, the bard's not even in the game, so I'm just going to leave it right here. Yeah, no problem, Anthony Browning. I use that trick a lot. The Windows key, Shift, and S to take pictures. If you go into Discord, it also will let you paste right into Discord, so you don't have to have Photoshop open or anything. It's really neat. Like, if I wanted to take Discord and I'll just delete it, but I'll put it here. I can just press Control V and then it pastes it into Discord. So like when you're using something on your screen and you want to like show somebody your screen, but there's no quick easy way to do it. If you're using Windows 10, press the Windows key, Shift, and S, and you can take a picture of something like this, and then you just press paste, and then boom, it pastes. So it's a pretty cool little trick. I wonder if Skull Games is watching. Are you watching Skull Games? You'll be like, people are going to be like, what is that and why does it matter? It's for the live stream, yo. Anyway. Yeah. So to fix this, what I should do is, if there is a member, before we say member.gainHP, we need to, I probably want to do this differently, and say member.removeState one, right? I think remove state is built in somewhere, right? Adjusted, because I plan to do this and I'm starting it, adjusted bard skills to not suck at first, but still get better over time. So the bard's not useless at the beginning, because you really need a healer when you get the bard, so that's the thing. Yeah, I'm glad you picked that up, Dark Hunter. It's a cool trick. When I found out about that, I was like, finally, Windows, thank you for doing this something right. Oh yeah, what was I doing? I was going to go to Sublime and open up and just search through some of these and just... So, remove state. Where do we have remove state? And for game action, item effect, remove state, target effect. What else do we got? Item effect, remove state. Yep. Oh, no. Wait, find previous. Hold up. Target dot remove state effect dot data ID. Right, so we just put a number right here for when we're referencing it. I think it's just going to be 1 for knocked unconscious, right? State 1 is unconscious. That one has to stay the same. This dot death state ID, remove state. Here it is, game battler prototype remove state. So it is a function where you pass the state ID, and if this is state affected of that ID, and if state ID is equal to this dot death state ID, then revive. This dot revive. Hey, there's this dot revive. Wait, there's this dot revive. Because we can bypass the whole remove state 1 and we can just say this dot revive. So let's see where revive is at. Yeah, there's a dot revive function. So we can just go member dot revive and then heal that member. Let's try that. Let's try that instead. Okay, we don't need to do remove state. We can say remember dot revive. That's a built-in thing. And then what are we passing in revive is the actor number, right? No, that is a property, right? That is a property because you have object and then you have properties. So it would just be member.revive like this. Say execute that function, if I'm not mistaken. And then member.gain HP. So we need to test the Phoenix Payon, and let's make sure we actually start with it because I changed those. Phoenix Payon, we don't. For now, I'm going to let us start with it. And I'll change it. You can see where it needs to be changed. Hey, Damian's World. So we need to like get our party members knocked unconscious and then play the Phoenix to see if it crashes and what happens, what actually happens. Also, where are we gaining? Where are we incrementing? X equals x divided by 6. Why am I dividing it by 6 here? Okay, so we're setting a variable, temporary variable x to the value of what's stored in 10, which is our payon, and then we're multiplying it by 6. Oh, okay. Because I'm not using the damage formula actually, so we're multiplying it by 6. I get it. And we should probably, if we want to also look at the bard skill, we say variable y equals game variables dot value of 5 times 2. And this should, casting this, increase your bard skill? I think so. Why not? So then inside of here, we're gonna make a variable h equals x plus y. And then we're going to gain HP of y. Nope, of h. So this is going to use our bard skill plus our payon skill to heal the person. And then what we can do is say y equals y divided by 2, and then we can also say plus y, and then we'll say in another condition if y is less than equal to 1,000. So if you're not already over at 1,000, then you can set the variable. Game variables dot set value of 5 to what we put on as y. So this will increment our bard skill and our payon skill after we use it. And I could do random to see, like, maybe he gets better, maybe he doesn't. I did this with the mining system, but in reality, it's better to just give them a guaranteed progression and then scale that. So, like, if you need them to do it, like, you want them to cast it 1,000 times, instead of making the skill cap 500 and giving them a 50% chance to gain a skill, just make the skill cap 1,000 and guarantee them a skill every time, because then RNG can't screw the player. And you can kind of predict where they're at a little bit more accuracy. Mega Monster, how you doing? I tried Discord, but no one really cares, so I thought, why not YouTube? And then I found this amazing channel that could help me by watching videos and streams. Cool. Which Discord did you try? I mean, there's a lot of different channels, right? You're welcome to come hang out in my channel. There's a lot of helpful people there. You found a playlist, and so now you watch me a lot? That's cool, dude. Thanks for the support. It's hard to find MV streamers. Yeah, and it gets more and more slim as the engine gets more and more dated. I know that there'll be another resurgence when the next engine comes out, but I'm not in a hurry to get the next engine out because what was the time frame from VX to MV? Wasn't it like 8 years or 7 years or something like that? So I think 5 years is a good cycle. 5 to 6 years is a good cycle of on an engine. So if what year was it when this engine came out? Was it 2015? I think it was 2015 or 2016. I forgot, but I know it was around this time of year actually. It was like August 30th or something. Keza Jensen, how you doing? Good to see you. Anyway, we need to test this. I'm sure we're going to crash because we're messing with code at some point. But let's just keep on scrolling on down. It's much easier when we can use the formula to do all this variable stuff. So we adjusted the healer's payon. The bard skill will keep getting better no matter what. So if you're casting any of your songs, you're going to get better at all of them a little bit. But you'll get specifically better by doing the same ones. Anyway, I think it's an interesting enough system where it's like weak at the beginning, but the more you do it, the better the character becomes. And at this point, the party doesn't have a healer, so they're going to need it, and they're going to use it even with weaker heals. So that means the player will give them a chance. Even though they're weak at the beginning, the player will give them a chance because they're just like desperate for that fourth member, especially a healer. I thought, Jamie Cassidy, that MV stood for mobile version. So I was really big into Game Maker Studio, and I even bought the Android console, and I was like, gosh, it's so hard to put a game on Android. And then MV came out for RPG Maker, and I'm like, I know MV Engine pretty well, better than I know Game Maker Studio, and I should probably take a look at this engine because the selling point, a huge selling point was, oh, you can put it on mobile devices. You can put it on your, what is it called? Your HTML now. Oh, I need to click accept. Thank you for the follow, Bastova, and thank you for the subscription, Kesa. I hope they pop up on the screen. But yeah, it turns out that it's extremely hard to put your RPG Maker MV game on Android, and it's just a pain in the butt. And I wish they would have actually put more effort into making that an easy process. I did put one game on, I put this game actually, The Legend of Driftwood, on Android, on my Shield tablet, and it crashed. So it took a long time to figure out how to get all these, go through the entire process of making it into a package and then updating it so that it'll do it right, and the APK is on there, and then compressing it so that the file size wasn't too huge, and then it played the first. I was like, oh, it's working, so excited, and I pressed down and it played a sound effect, but it tried to play a sound effect, but it couldn't play OGG. So that version of Android, which was up to date at the time, 2 years ago or so, could not play OGG files. So immediately crashed, and I'm like, great. To debug and fix this, I have to go back to the engine, figure out what caused the problem. I eventually figured out, oh, it's because it can't read OGG files. So I had to convert all of the OGG files to .wma, I think. Yeah, WMA. Well, let's find out for sure instead of guessing. I had to convert all OGGs to M4A. And M4A formats are slightly bigger than OGG, especially depending on your level of conversion, like the encryption on the conversion. And I used an online converter, and it made the music files huge, like a 5 megabyte OGG turned into like a 20-something megabyte M4A. And I was like, okay, this is just not going to work. So what do? I got rid of all the music. And then I limited a lot of the sound effects. And then I got this chopped up, watered down, light version of the game on Android. And it still took a while to package the APK and everything. The Dead Batteries comic, thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate it. And so it turns out the MV being what I thought stood for being mobile version of RPG Maker was a big bust. That doesn't mean that I'm disappointed in the engine. This engine is great. I'm glad they're using JS. It's so much better pixel density, and it's got a lot to offer. I love it. I love RPG Maker MV, obviously, but I was disappointed in the selling point being that you could put it on your Android and Apple devices, and you really, really can't do that very well. And so that kind of is lame. I like that you guys are hopping onto the Twitch chat. That's cool. I see you, Royal, Mega Monster, Stalker Rogan over here. We've got both chats should be feeding into the video live stream as well. Let's get back to coding these skills in the note boxes. The Healer's Payon, we've got that. I think that's going to work right. We gave it a base value of 100. The Phoenix Payon, we also need to give it a base value. So what we're going to say is H is actually going to be 100 plus H plus X plus Y. And then we're going to heal for H. And then we're multiplying these over here, so we're dividing them back. And then we're incrementing them, and then we're storing the temporary variables and resetting the value of the variables so that it increments when we use it. Awesome. So that should work. We'll test it. Wizard's Ballad restores MP to the party based on your Bard's Ballad skill. So we need to do the same thing here. We're going to say, wait, I need this up again because I forgot what variable we're looking at. The good old trusty Windows thing. So I'm looking over here at, I don't want to block the chats. The Ballad skill, which is going to be number 13. Obviously, that's what's written down. And then the Bard skill is 5. Excuse me. So variable 5 times, we'll just leave that one, plus variable 13 times 2. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of MP eventually. What I should actually do is just go this skill times 0.5 plus variable 13 alone. Because it's going to heal MP to the entire party. Oh, it costs 100 TP. So I can't spam it. It costs a lot of TP. So no, that's why I had it set to this. Okay, that's fine. I like it without using decimals anyway. I think it works a little bit better as far as a decimal on one variable. It can be not effective at all. And that will be a big mess up. That variable times that variable, because they're both going to be incrementing. That's also going to crash because it says variable and then another variable without an operation. So variable 5 plus variable 13 times 2. In order of operations, say it will do this, and then we'll add that to it. But then we're going to say plus, we'll just give a 10 with a 10% variance. And same stuff's going to happen here. We're going to say variable, I guess since I already went with this method, I'll do this again. Variable y equals game variables, value of 5. And then we're going to increment y as well, which we'll have to make another condition. I'll just save some time and copy paste this and change this 5, or this 13 to a 5, and the x to the y, and then also change the condition so that it's checking to see if y is less than 1,000 before it wants to reset that value. That should update that to make it more useful at the beginning. Bolster morale. Looks like I'm using an action sequence in this one. So adds a state that will restore TP over time. The spell will get stronger with higher bard skills. So this one costs MP to cast, but this is a good thing to have. And it's a bolster morale. What skill am I using for that? I think it's just the bard skill. Yep, I'm just using 5. Wow, I made a custom one, didn't I? Okay, let's see what's going on here. I'm making it as a whole action because it's targeting all allies. If the variable of 5 is less than 1,000, then so it's going to try to do this first. If it's greater than 1,000, then action animation, wait for the animation, add state 69 to all actors giggity. So let's look at state 69 and see what we're doing with that. Okay, so this is TP regen plus 10%. So it's going to just add a state. It gives everybody like a TP regen for 5 turns. Okay, 10%, 8%, 6%, 4%, 2%. So what I'm doing is I'm making a check in here. I'm checking the levels, the current skill level, depending on my skill level, but it'll never be greater than 1,000. So what I should do is greater than 999. So if it's maxed out. So there's a little bug I fixed. So I would never get that state, 69, and then no one would be happy. Okay, so 999, so if we're at 1,000, we're maxed out, then it will trigger this one, and then it won't do anything else because this is an else handler. So else if it's greater than 500, we get 8%. If it's greater than 225, we get 6. If it's greater than 100, we get 4. And then if it's just anything less than 100, you get 2% TP regen to the whole party. And then change variable 5 plus equals 1. Change variable. Oh, that's an action sequence modification. Right. That's so instead of saying using a JS pseudo or pseudo JS inside an action sequence, this is an entire action sequence. So we're using the action sequence pseudocode. This is change variable 5 is an alias function, an alias thing, so that when you say this, it's basically saying game variables dot set value 5, and then you can put in the code right here. I'm assuming I tested it. I don't know, I may have tested it. This may work. We need to test the bolster morale to make sure that it increases our skill, and then the perform finish and everything. Okay, also some custom animations probably need to be had. Take care, Royal. It's nice seeing you again. Hey, Charles and Nico, how you doing? Salad dressing, what's TP for? TP is just going to give you ability to use your skills. And the more, what does TP stand for? The words? Tactical points, tech points. I think tech points, most likely. It really isn't said anywhere in the game, so it's up to the player's interpretation. I remember a lot of times seeing MP and having a debate with my childhood friends saying, it stands for magic points. No, it's mana points. No, it's magic points. So it really, I kind of just want to leave it, let the player decide what TP stands for. It's a resource that's used to trigger skills. You're replacing TP to Aura in your game? That's cool. Epic, Mighty, in a Cloud. Technical points. Can you change what it says in the TP slot? Absolutely. Yeah, you just go to terms, yeah. And you go here. I have it changed already. In my game, the TP is called LP for, I guess, limit points. And then I don't actually say limit points, as I don't remember. I don't remember typing in, like, LP means limit points. I just let the player figure it out. So you can see that it's right here. It says limit points. But in the game, it just says LP everywhere, so... You can change your stuff. Like, I've changed the stats. So attack is strength, defense is vitality, magic attack is wisdom, magic defense is willpower, agility, speed, luck is luck still. In my other game, luck is changed to charisma. Hit rate is changed to accuracy, evasion is still evasion. But yeah, you can change all your terms, and if you're using first person, you can change what actually pops up. %1 means the target or the user. %2 are... %2, what was %2 stand for? Oh, the name of the level, and then %3 would be the result of the calculation. You know, yeah, so you can change your terms. Easy. Okay, so bolster morale seems to be okay now. Let's do for the next one. Incite intent. Use your TP to restore the TP of the party. So this is a skill that you can sacrifice your own TP to give the party TP. Does it use anything? So you're looking at Bard skills. Variable X is the Bard skill, so when you do it, you increment your skill if it's if your skill is less than 1,000, it will so it doesn't actually it's not based off your skill. This is a solid, you consume 50 of your TP to give the rest of your party 20. So I don't know, it does give you skill, but maybe people will find a niche use for it. After you've already got TP regen, if you still need to put out more TP, I guess it's good to allow you to put out more TP to the party, or in this case LP. So because I'm using LP and I've changed that to LP, I should probably do that and change the descriptions as well. So that's a good, I'm glad we brought up the whole what does it stand for conversation, because it helps me to pay more attention to some of these details. It's so hard to not actually go back to saying TP because it's built into the engine as TP, which, I mean, it's good that it is, but still. Okay, the next one, Foes Requiem. This is going to be the damage dealer spell for the Bard. Is it easy to balance stuff like LP, evasion, etc.? Well, I mean, it can be tricky balancing your stats. That's kind of a broad question. Yes, it can be, but it can be. Jamie Cassidy says that I find it can be easy if your game is simplified to certain formula. For example, damage equals the attack of the player minus the defense of the enemy, and small numbers like 5 attack minus 2 defense, etc. Right. It depends on the complexity of your skills. Are you using variables in your damage formulas, and do you have custom parameter changes? Are you setting the parameters using the built-in parameter curves, or are you doing something like, I don't do it in this game, but I do it in another project. I'll show you what it can be more complicated. It can be more complicated using the built-in curves than if you were to actually, now this is in Natural Explorers, than if you actually just went into your classes and set custom class parameters. So this is simplifying it for me. I'm saying that the attack of this character is going to be his level times 10, and so are all the rest of his stats. So I've simplified it. Every time you level, you're going to get 10 to your stats, 25 MP and 100 HP. And that makes it easy to know where the character's progression is going. And then because I know this simple number, it goes up by 10, I can make it so that, well, if I want the enemies to scale slightly slower, I'll make sure that they're not getting 10 to all their stats per level. They're getting less than that. Yeah. Also, it can be difficult to balance if you're using a plugin, the enemy levels plugin. In this game, Natural Explorers, I have it turned off. So let me go back to the one we're actually working on today is Legend of Driftwood. I have it turned on, and I'm using the level system, enemy levels plugin. So this is going to make your character's parameters scale every time they level up. So like you have a growth rate here, and you can set your own formulas to change it up right here. So you can specifically say when you level your enemies up, you just can say the base times level times whatever else you want, and use parentheses. Like basically set your own calculation for what you want to happen, and you've got these built-in variables that you can reference, like for flat and rate. Yeah, and if you want to break down of what this is, the 0.04 means 4% growth per level, and then 2.5 is like the flat. Like you get this amount and it's multiplied by their previous value times 1.04 actually. What plugin you're using for that leveling stats? Oh, good question. I'm using class-based parameters. That was in the other project, Natural Explorers. I'm using base param control and class-based params extension. So you need to have base param control. So you'll need Yanfly Core Engine, base param control, and YepX class-based param. Skull Games. and you can kind of like specify. You don't have to do level times something. You really don't have to do this. You can say attack equals, what's another example? I don't know. You can make your stat based on another stat. Like, okay, you can make your HP based on your defense. So you can say max HP equals defense times 10 plus something. So as the player gets more defense, their HP goes up. You see how that would like work? So you put on an armor that gives 20 defense, and it gives you, you know, more HP depending on your calculation there. So instead of worrying about the numbers of like how much its damage is going to reduce, it just increases the max HP. So the difficulty of balancing is relative to the system that you're trying to use. I think I got diverted. What was I doing? Skills. I was working with checking these skills. Okay, so here is our damage dealing thing. So we're basing this stat off of our magic attack power. We're going to say times 4. Wait, is that what we're using for that? Shouldn't we vary that up a little bit? As a bard, trying to be, like, you think maybe agility, because you don't want, like, they're not really a caster, so their wisdom isn't going to affect their skill at the instrument, will it? Not really. So we'll take that into consideration. How hard they can strum on the instrument, I don't know. I think we'll use multiple stats for this. Luck and agility might play into the role of this as well. Luck is underused in most things, so I should probably focus it on luck, just because I could change luck to something else like technique or skill, but then it bleeds into the whole of it, so I don't want to use that. Something different. I'd have to change a lot if I just change the name of luck now, but I'm just going to base it off of luck. So it's going to be agility and luck, you think? So strength, wisdom, speed, and luck. You know what? Let's take a little bit of all 4 of these. 4 of the 6. 4 of the 8. Let's do that. Okay, so I'll go A.ATK plus A.MAT plus A.AGI plus A.LUK times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, let's do times 4. So it's using 7x of their stats. Wow, that's super strong though. Plus a variable of their ever increasing requiem. Not ever, up to 10,000, huh? Requiem. Minus the target's luck. Let's go ahead and go minus the target's luck times 2 to give their luck a role in damage reduction, because it's really high. You know what? Why would attack, magic attack, and agility really affect that? Since we're going with this highly unused stat, let's focus on that mostly. So for the bard, his luck times 4 plus the skill of requiem minus the opponent's luck times 2. But what we want to do is also include the bard's base skill. So we'll say plus variable 5 times just variable 5 plus this times 2. Minus the target's luck times 2. With a 50% variance. Okay, I like that. And this skill, I mean, I don't know. Do we want the Requiem to go up to 10,000? Right, okay, so this is what I was talking about. I need to fix this. We're not going to allow the Requiem to go to 10,000. All of the other off skills go to 1,000, so instead let's multiply this up. Let's say this value times 10 and this value times 2. Or even 3. That's better. That's better. That way it scales up faster and it doesn't take 10,000 uses to become amazing. Now just let me double check here. Luck times 4 plus variable 5 times 3 plus variable 11 times 10 minus the target's luck times 2. Fair enough, but this won't adjust the skill yet. So let's go ahead and fix that. Variable y equals game, nope, not percent. Game variables dot value of 5, which is the bard skill, and then we're going to plus to y and make another condition saying if variable y is less than 1,000, then change variable 5 to the value of y. That makes the most sense. Okay. Drastically change that. See, it does take TP, so I mean we have to, well, LP. And it deals sonic damage, its own type, its own element of damage. Just cool. Alright, Striker's Minuet. We're moving on to enhancing the strength, which is the attack power of all your parties, of all your party members. And what do we have here? It's dividing our skill by 10, and then we're adding buff. Though, do we want to do add buff? That's so lazy. Let's do add state. Let's make a state. Oh, maybe. Okay, wait. Maybe I'm doing add buff for a specific reason. So I got a for loop. I is 0. When I is less than the number of members, length increment I. So this is getting the number of party members. So we're doing something for all the party members. So if there is a party member, so the variable member is going to exist for every party member that you currently have. And then we're saying if a member exists, then we're going to say member dot do something to add buff 2 to our target of X. Or wait. Okay, so wait. 0 is HP, 1 is MP, max HP, max MP. 2 is attack power, add buff 3 is defense, add buff 4 is magic attack power, add buff 5 is magic defense, add buff 6 is agility, add buff 7 is luck, or charisma, yeah, luck. Okay, so then we're adding that, the number of rounds divided by, right, isn't the second parameter in add buff the number of rounds? I think so. Let's go with add buff and let's just search and see what we can find. Item effect, add buff, not exactly. We're looking for here we go. The game battler interprets add buff is defined here. Parameter ID and the number of turns, yes. So if they are alive, increase the buff by that parameter, blah, 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 blah. So we can make this really, really massive long code if we wanted to and add states and make it flashy. I see why I did add buff because it is the lazier way to do it, but it makes it easy. So we're saying our skill divided by 10, that's how many rounds it's going to last. So it won't do anything. It won't really do anything until you have a certain number of skills. So I need to do like +3. Right? It's got to last, or +2, just so it lasts a couple rounds. So what I have to do here is say variable y equals x plus 2. And then I'll say add buff and change it to y. That way it will get at least 2 rounds even when you have no skill. Or let's just do +1 here. And let's just do another thing. This is going to be variable r. So we're going to make this r. And we'll say x plus y plus 1. Now what we'll do is define y, variable y, as game variables bard skill. Value 5 divided by 20. So when this gets to 1,000, it adds extra rounds up to 50 rounds. So if you maxed your skills, that would be 150 rounds of a buff. This doesn't seem right at all. Oh man. small buff divided by 50. So that would give 20 extra rounds. And then this can be 20. So at max double skill, which probably no one's going to get to, that will give you a 70 round buff. What if we do 25? That would give 40, so that would be a 60 round buff. So starting off, if you would, instead of that, let's go with 3. So maxed out skill, you have 63 round buffs on the whole party. Buffs lasting for 150 rounds? Seems balanced. Shut up, Jaime. No, keep talking, I like it. Yeah, right, so that's what I'm working on here. I'm okay with that, actually, because you know what? No one's going to really get max skill. So typically by the time they're done with the storyline, they're probably, buffs are going to last like 10, 15, maybe 20 rounds, you know? So that's fine. That's fine. So R equals this plus that plus 3, and then we'll add the buff, that buff by R, and then we're going to have to change this X as well. So by the same values, X would be multiplied back to 25, and the var Y would be multiplied back to 50, which doesn't exist yet. If X is greater, no, we're going to do 1,000. I'm glad I'm going back through here because this was a long time ago before I had like the skill to really mull this over. Okay. So let's do the same thing. Y equals Y times 50. Luckily, it stores these in float values so that this will actually work. If it stored it in like int values, then this would not work because it would just be this times 0 equals 0, and then you use the skill and all of your skills are set to 0. Okay, x 25, that's 50, plus x, and then we have to do plus y. And then we also need to copy this to make sure that we're getting points here. Gotta make sure these are right. I'm gonna go back over the caps when I'm finished with the other skills. Coding bard skills can be tedious. I think that's good. What am I missing though? I keep thinking I'm missing something. So if there is a member that exists, add the attack buff for that many rounds. And rounds is this value plus that value plus a base 3. So it will always last. It won't just wear off immediately. We have a base value. And then we multiply the variable back, and then after we multiply it, we increment it. Yeah, you don't want to increment first, because then you're getting like 25 points on one or 50 points on one use. You would just spam this and be max skill in like 20 uses or so. Right, okay, that's good. I think that's fine. Okay, let's continue on. And you know what we could actually do is copy paste this code for the other stats like this. The problem with that is, no, that's fine. There's no problem with that. I'll fix it. So I'll take this code, which works. It's going to work the exact same way for when you adjust the vitality. So let's just boom, overwrite all the changes. It'll save us a ton of time. We do change the value of the variable we're referencing. So for this, we're not using 7, which is a minuet. We're going to be using 6, which is a min. So we change this to 6 in all instances of 7. And literally, that's all we change. Oh no, and this has also got to be changed from 2 to 3, because now we're saying don't use the attack buff, or don't add the attack buff, add the defense buff. So right here is 4, right? So we copy this code. This is going to save us so much time. Bam. And then for the madrigal, I am saying it's 9. And this is going to 4. The runic mine. Oh, okay, so this is similar to the minuet, or similar to the other one. So I'm using the same skill, but for magic defense. In this case, I renamed it to will for willpower. So we just copy this. No, wait, let's copy this, and it's very, very close. The runic mine. Paste this. And these things are the same, but we changed this buff from 3 to 5. Oh, I keep forgetting. Okay, HP, MP, attack, defense, magic attack, magic defense, which would be the 6th thing, but it starts at 0 because it's an array, and so that would be 5. Yes. Beautiful. Okay, then we copy this. Well, we have it copied to the clipboard already. Victory March. This is to adjust the speed. Same thing. Paste it in here, except we're not referencing variable 6, which I've called the mine. We're referencing the march, which I've used variable 12 for that. So change the 6 to the 12, and change the add buff function to be, well, I think I've gone up exactly the way that they're numbered to make it easier on me in the future. That would be now. So this goes to 6. Easy. And then we keep that going. We actually copy this. And the Jester's Etude increases the luck. So it would be smart to do the Jester's Etude and then do the, what is it called? Sonic? Foes Requiem for sonic damage. So we increase our luck, and then so we'll do more damage with our other thing. Paste. So that's the strategy, I guess. And Jester's Etude would be 7, which is the 8th value in the array for add buff. So we change this 6 to a 7, and we change the value of this from the Etude, which would be 14. So 12 goes to 14. A lot of these numbers are arbitrary, and it's just what I put in for my control variables. I'll bring this over to show you what I'm referencing, the bar skill, and then all of the subsequent bard skills. So like the numbers that you're messing with, they don't have to be this, but the things that's not arbitrary is the add buff function. Those are specific. Okay, we're moving on to Trinities. This is a new type of thing, so it won't be copy pasting this. What does this do? Oh, we're using a state. Enhances the fire damage based on your Trinities. So this was before Element Core existed. Now I would use Element Core, but right now if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm already using Mog Hunter's plugin to do this, so I don't need to mess with it. I've got the states made. I've got plenty of other things to do, so I'm just going to keep using Mog Hunter's plugin for now. Element Boost 2, 150. This one's Element Boost 3, Element Boost 4, and if we go to our types, it's referencing here 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Which I believe it still works. I should probably test it because a lot of things have changed and I haven't actually tested it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and just stay with this. And if I see that it's not working, then I will switch to Element Core, which I love. It's a fantastic plugin. I might do that anyway, but not right now. Okay, so these are all states from 74 to 83 to boost the damage of that element for the party, which is going to be very, very powerful. The Fire Trinity, Custom Execution, Variable X, blah, blah, blah. All this is really doing, it's not taking your, oh, right, I remember having a problem with thinking, how am I going to make this affect, like, how is the skill level going to affect this? And I have an idea what I can do now. Do I want to do that? Maybe, let's do it. We're updating the rest of them, you know, we here, ain't we? So let's go to the states and copy all the Trinities. Do I have space to put it underneath it? Gosh, I don't. How much do I need? Like 10. Okay, hold on. Let me see. What am I using? 74 to 83. Am I using 174? I'm not. But, oh, there's a dot blast in here? What is this dot blast? What else is using dot blast? I'm gonna regret moving that, ain't I? Aren't I? I may regret moving this skill. Here's what I'm gonna do though. I'm gonna copy dot blast and put it on 200. Then I'm going to delete it off of 184. I'm going to, gosh, will it find if I, okay, say if I go here and I type in Control F and I type in dot blast, will it find it inside of, it did, so good. So this is the, well, luckily it did because I named the skill the same as the state. So that was a good organization, I suppose. So now I can go here, and instead of referencing 184 where I moved it, I fixed that bug that I created by just selecting 200. No problems done, as far as I can tell. 150 DOT. Game variables. I'm not adjusting the variable at all, so that's not going to affect anything. Okay, we're good. I used 184 for the skill name and number as I did for the skill state and number. That's why it's randomly there. I just moved it, no harm done. But what this is going to let me do is expand upon the Threnodies. So what I will do is copy all of the Threnodies, and they're set to 74 to 83, and I'll go 174 to 83. And what we'll do this time is, so the first Threnody will give 25% bonus. The second skill level will give a 50% bonus. So these are done after I say Fire Threnody 2, Ice Threnody 2, etc. I just kind of call these the second tier. And what I'll do is make the skill matter in very slight format, in that if you have over 500, if you have over 499 Threnody skill, then you'll get the second tier of this. And then if you have max skill, you'll get the third one. So I'll copy this again, and I'm going to put it right underneath it this time. 3. Let me catch up. I'm not ignoring you guys. There's always a player who will try to find a game-breaking thing. That's normal, and there's nothing wrong. If the game lets you do it, then it's the designer's fault if it messes up the game. Jamie says, I still have never used a variable. Come on, Jamie. Come on now. I just like making maps. Well, you know, to each their own. Then work on the details. Spent like 4 months without touching a text box. Well, I don't blame you for not messing with text boxes, but you're like the polar opposite. I can't stand making maps. It's such a painstaking process for me, and then I'm never happy with my own work. So that's really cool that people can enjoy this engine for very different things. Skull says, I don't like to make scenes. It's boring, and the worst is to watch it like 10 times to fix tiny things. Now, when it comes to making cutscenes, I love making cutscenes. It's fantastic to see like the storyline play out, especially when you're like winging it and you're like, oh, I like where it's going. And actually, I didn't write this down until I put it in the game, and then it's like it works, or this doesn't, and let me fix it. And so I like making cutscenes, and then like making animations that fit for the cutscene. So making cutscenes is fun for me, but making the map that they're on is not fun. And I don't know why. I don't know why. That's just a weird thing. Karogia Gaming says, Hi Driftwood, I sincerely appreciate how you help us RPG Maker users in developing our games. Your contributions to community is remarkable. Please continue the great work. Love from the Philippines. Hey, love right back at you from New York. Thank you. Jamie says, I know what you mean, but I love to make scenes as my game is story-driven, no combat. I kind of have to have a good story scenes in my game, or it's not really. Yeah, that's true. If you're not going to focus on making a combat system, then you got to have a good hook in the storyline. There's nothing wrong with a good book if you enjoy it. If the characters pull you in and you can relate with the characters, then that's fun. That's still good. But when you're trying to make an RPG and you're you're packaging it as this RPG when it's a visual novel. That can be frustrating to players, and I get that. Hey Drifty, good to see you back again. Hey Silver Starlight, how are you doing? I would have chatted earlier, but I usually I'm on the way to work between 2 to 4. Oh, well, that's a shame, but it's okay. Luckily, it's put on YouTube afterwards. So let me get back to work. I just wanted to say what's up and make sure that I read everybody's comments in the live stream. It feels good to get back into it, to be honest. In some ways, it like, you know, it's work and it can be monotonous and stuff, but in some ways it's a good like creative outlet, sort of like a therapeutic thing. It can be very stressful, but on the other hand, it could also be very therapeutic. And a big bonus is when I have people watching, I'm like, oh, I better work, I better get this done, so I'm doing things faster, and in the end, I don't waste as much time as I normally do as if I am just sitting there by myself. I get a lot less done when I'm not live streaming, to be honest. So live streaming is a good kick in the pants to, you know, hey, do stuff. You know how to do this, just do it. And some people tell me that they like working on their project while they have the live stream open, which is cool. And I get that because I'm the same way. If I'm playing a game, I kind of like to watch other people playing that game on like one screen. Somebody asked, I read that. How many monitors do you have? I have 2. I'm using 2 monitors right now. I've used 3 monitors. I've used 1 monitor. I prefer to have 2 monitors over 3 and over 1. I suppose having 3 is not bad. You know, it's just the thing is, it takes so much space. If I had, okay, here's the thing. If I had more space, I would like, you know, like the perfect setup, 3 monitors, sure. I'm not going to deny that. But in my current setup, 3 monitors for me doesn't work right. It doesn't work that well. So that's 150. And now I need to go back and sort of nerf the Fire Threnody 1s. To be 25%. And update the descriptions and something else I'm sure I will remember at some point. Because even 25% bonuses is good. Especially if you're playing on the weakness of a creature. So if it's already taking 200% damage from an element, another 25% potency will be multiplicative. Did I say that right? Multiplicative? It will multiply, so the 25 will seem to be 50%. If they take triple damage, then, you know, it's 75%. Okay, that was fine. Alrighty. There we go. We made a ton of skills with very little effort, right? So let's go ahead and... We didn't actually make a ton of skills. This is all being called by... All 3 of those states are called by the 1 skill, but we have to put in the code that lets the skill work like it's supposed to. So let's scroll back up to the Threnities. Okay. And we'll just put in some, you know, some checks. So this is, the Threnities won't really affect, the Bard skill will have no effect. And even in the description, I'm like, it's based on your Bard Threnody skill, but it never was. It was like, even if you had 0 or 1,000 skill, the same state would be applied, but now it won't. Right? We have three iterations. So we can say, when the player gets 333 skill, they'll start casting the 0 to 333. We only have 3 versions. Yeah, so 0 to 333 would be the first one. So if you have over 333, you cast the first. No, you cast 0 to 33 is 1, and then 33 to 6 is the second, and then so I need to make 4 if I want to give a bonus at 1,000, don't I? Make the 4th one? Why not? Let's just do that. Easy. 4 iterations of what can happen is fine. So let's do that. We make states for that. Let's change the maximum to be 300 states. Do I want to add another? No, 250. 250. Careful with this changing the state numbers there. I'm going to change my mind on this dot blast. I'm going to make it 284. So I'm going to cut this skill. Actually, it doesn't let you cut. I will copy it and do... It was 184, right? Yes. So let's do 300. Change my mind. 300. So 284. This is arbitrary. It doesn't even matter. But it helps me. So then I go back to skills. Press Control F. Type in dot blast. So I conveniently named it the same thing. Change this to add state dot blast. Not the 200, but the 284 one. Okay, and the rest doesn't need to be adjusted at all. Then I can go back to here and type in Threnody. Wait, does it have to be? Oh, okay. Fire, Thrin. Nope. Thrin, Nodi. Oh, right. Find previous. Because I was already past it. Okay. There it is. And then I go to the states and I delete the 200 dot blast. And now I could take this, copy it, and paste it for... Seems like a lot, you know, but I was struggling for a while to figure out how do I make it based on skill. Well, I just make different states. This is one way to do it. I'm sure there's a way to do it with less states, but it really doesn't cause any problems by having more states. Now, having more states applied at the same time definitely does, but we're not going to have more applied at the same time. It'll just be selecting from the states. So the Threnody 4, not 6, but 4. And the highest level of Threnody will double the damage that's done with elements. And that kind of works for me. I like the way that functions now. If you've maxed your skill, you can double your party's elemental damage on whatever type you want. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and... So this makes the Bard very strong. I mean, the Bard's already strong. He's weak at the beginning, but he has so much versatility. He's going to replace the other two characters as your like utility healer for sure. Because he doesn't consume items. His skills get better as you use them. The problem is I don't want him to be super powerful when you first get him. He's supposed to be like crazy high potential, but you know, his character, he's like very emo and he doubts himself and he thinks he sucks and he's not really that useful. I mean, he'll be useful either way, but he's not like super good right at the beginning. But if you keep using him, he becomes like immensely strong. And he's probably going to be your character, like if you do get this variables high enough, because he has that sonic attack that hits everybody. Sonic, he goes fast. No, he does AoE damage to everybody. So get some gear to boost his agility, and then his AoE just wipes the enemies as you get. Yeah, you don't have to ever run again, just wipe everything out. Depansu Sahu says, hi, I'm from India. Hello, welcome from New York. Ahmed Falahi, how you doing? Long time no see, Ahmed. Pukachi. I keep saying Pika. Pukachi. I'm from Stressland. Oh no, don't stress. Guys, can I shamelessly introduce about the new release demo of my game? Sure. There's a self-promo channel in the Discord, links in the description, where you can promote your stuff with links and everything, and then you can get, you know, hundreds of people to look at it. Ever played a game that feels meta, like the game knows you and adapts to your actions? I want to say yes. I can't give you any, like, for sure. There's a few games that I played that felt meta. Oh, what is it called? Pony Island. Did you guys ever play Pony Island? That game. And some other ones too. I just can't remember. Yeah, links won't work in this as far as I know. They either get like auto muted, or like I don't even see them. But you can post them in the Discord. Probably better, like just better to post them in the Discord because people are there all day. People are only here for 2 hours. And most people are not here for the solid 2 hours. They'll come in, stay for a little bit, and go and come in, whatever. Some people are, though. Thank you, guys. Love you guys. We're almost done with this. We need to design the code for the Thrinities, and then we can copy-paste it and change one number. So 8 is our variable for Thrinities. So what we're going to do is check. We're going to check. So we're going to first check it and then increment it. So we're going to check it here, and then we're going to say if game dot value of 8 is greater than equal to, might as well do that. How do we want to do this? The highest, and then do else ifs, right? So if is, we'll just use greater than, one character less. If the value of our Thrinity skill is greater than 999, saying it's maxed out. We'll also at the end, hold up, we need to do one more thing. We'll do a condition if x is less than 1,000. No, wait, less than 1,000. X. Oop, stop doing tab. X plus plus. Plus plus X. Oh wait, what am I doing? I already have that in there. If game variable's value 8 is greater than... No, I'm stupid. I just made that, and that's not what I'm actually checking. If X... I'm getting all discombobulated. If X is less than 1,000, then what do we want to do? We don't actually need to make brackets for this, but it's just a habit. We want to set the value. We want to do this, actually. We want to change the value to that, right, after incrementing that. So we add to it, and then we see, is it less than max? If it's not less than max, then then set it to the current value, which is whatever it was from the beginning, plus 1. So that's fine. Now we need to actually do the code that does stuff. So I know I jumped around, sorry. So if the value of your Thrinity is 1,000, greater than 999, then what we want to do is add state. So we'll say all allies, instead of add state here, we need to do, we need to check to see if we have members. I could write the for loop, or I can copy the for loop that I've used over and over. So let's do this. So here's a for loop to see if we have members. Maybe we should just check to see if there's a member there and then initiate the thing. Yeah, let me undo this. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to conceptualize this, and then it'll be a little bit clearer. I'm sure we're going to crash at some point. Oh my god. Drifty, did you make that map? The Mossdale one? No, that's a sample map. Noob KX, you made most of these maps. It's good to see you, by the way. How you doing? You made a lot of maps for me. And I have your name on them, by the way. Drifty, test the game for us, please. I've been testing this game for the past week. I'm doing the code, and I will run through and test it as soon as I get this code right. Once I get this right, I copy paste it for these three entities, and boom, we go to test it. I promise. We're almost done. I hope. Dear God, please help us. Okay, so variable x is the variable value 8, which is our skill. We set that into temporary memory. We run a for loop to get all members, and then if there is a member, what do we want to do for that member? How do I want to do this? For if there is a member, then we need to make a condition, actually. If there is a member, then check to see your skill and add state for that member. Yes, that's what we'll do. Okay. So if there is a member, run a condition. And then say if your skill is this, then we want to say member dot add state 74. No, wait. This is checking for the highest level. So this would be Threnody 4. So Threnody 4, Fire Threnody 4, is 194. So add state 194 to... Oh wait, can we do member.add state 194? I think so. We could... Yeah, we have to do it that way. What am I talking about? Member.add state 194. And then inside of here, else if, wait, hold on, gotta write the condition. Else if the same thing but different number. Else if, what is it, 660, it's, okay. And then the next one will be 333, and then else 0, or you don't need to just say else. Okay, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I hope. Copy this, paste this here. So this, let me get my brackets right. We got an open, and then this closes this, and then this else opens here, and then this sort of needs to be like this, doesn't it? Just so I can... Let's go like this. I'm going to clean it up. Else if open, member goes here, and then bracket goes here, because we're still inside if there's a member. So this is closing if there's a member. And okay, so for this part, we don't check for 4. We check for if we have 3. Fire Threnody 3, which is going to be 184. So we change this number from 194 to 184. We copy this whole shindig, else if that variable is greater than... one more thing I noticed, I want to make it, so if it's greater than 665, if it's greater than 332, so at 333, at 666, at 1000. Those are the turning from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, and so forth and so on. So This is 4, that's 3. This will be for 2, Fire Threnody 2, which is 174. And this next one is similar, but different. Wait for it. It's just else if brackets. Or just else handler. Otherwise, you know, like if you don't meet any of these skills, else. I believe it's 74. Yes. Now, I don't actually need to do the effects in here because I'm doing it with the note tags. But I put it here so that I can, well, it was already there, but I was using it to check the numbers quickly. Now let me check my brackets. So we're declaring a variable. Then we're making a for loop, and we're checking to see if there's a party member. If there is a party member, we're opening up brackets. In fact, I can clean this up a little bit more by just doing this. But no, I want it to be here so that I can remember, and it looks clearer to me. So I'm going to say if there is a member, and then we run a check. Okay, there is a member, and our variable is 1,000, then add 4. Otherwise, is the variable over 665? If so, add 3. And if it's not, it'll continue. Otherwise, if it is over 332, then add 392. Otherwise, just add 391, and then close that, and then this closes the member. So we've got open, close. No, wait, sorry. Open, open, close, open, close, open, close. No, we don't have a close. We need to close right here. See, I knew there was something wrong. And then we have open, close, close. One more time. Sorry. Open, close. No, open, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, and then close to see if they have a member. Perfect. Okay, increment X, and then if X is less than 1,000, set it to its new value so that we can get skill points for using it. And then I think that's it, really. That should work. I'm going to copy this whole thing, and it's simple what I do here now. For all of the other ones, all I'm changing are the states that we're adding. So for Ice Threnody 1 is, since we put them in specific order, I don't need to check them all. I can just add the next number. So change this to 75, change this to 175, change this to 185 and 195. It makes it simple. And then the next one, I paste it in here. I should have copied it again. This is going to be 76, 176, 186, 196. I'll just copy this, select all, copy this, go to water Threnody, bang, paste that in there. 77, 177, 187, 197, select all, copy, next. We're getting some speed here. 78, 178, 188, 198, Control A, Control C, next thing, Control V, 79, 179, 189, 199. That's it. Copy with Control A, or select all with Control A, copy with Control Z. Go here, Control V. We're at 80, 180, 190, and 200. Hopefully I put these in the right order. Gosh, what if I didn't? Copy, paste, 181, 91, 201. Now I have to check. I'll check at the end, and if it matches up, I know I'm good. Paste. You got 82, 182, 182, 202, Control A, Control C, and finally, bing. 83, 183, 193, and 203. So let's look at state 203. Is that Astral Trinity 4? Yeah, I did it right. Okay, one more thing. I have to delete the add state effects, otherwise we'll have two states going on. We also have to maybe do buff states core thing. If we want to like really balance this, you don't want to have two of the same Trinity effects on at the same time. If you get to a point, or do we? No, because then it makes it, because they'll stack, and you don't really want to stack those buffs. I mean, the player would love that, but you, like I said, if you allow the player to do it and it's game breaking, it's the dev's fault, really, not the player's fault. Let me catch up. Noob KX and Jaime, see you guys. Good man, happy to see you're well, and these maps were awful. Oh, nah, they were alright, man. I have come so far since then. I bet you have, I believe you. This was like 2 years ago. Thank you for the kind words, though, still. Still 1,000 times better than the maps in your old demo, says Jaime. Box Map Simulator is what I should rename that game. Everybody has had their share of box maps. Jaime's proud of the new maps. That's good. Drifty and Zombie Hawk reviewed the demo. Yep. Maybe if I ever get this 16 by 16 tile set finished, I'll give it to Drifty and to have fun with it. Hey, that'd be cool. I would like to see them sometime. I was thinking of making a RPG with like a very low resolution, but the problem is all of the plugins. I did that actually. I started to do that, and then if you like open the shop menu, you see like a corner of a text box. Most of the plugins that are designed for it that change even the engine itself is not designed to be in like a 240 by 160 or something resolution. It's designed to be in at least like a 640 something, 612, or it's designed to be in like a higher resolution than older games. So a 16 by 16 would work, but you'd have like this. You'd probably have some camera work to zoom in or zoom out. Pukachi says, though I can't post a link, you can find my game if you search for Mel Saga in Google. There you go. Also, you can put it in the Discord, Puka. Don't be a scrub. You got a ton of DLC from Steam Store? Jaime is EA. Oh, hey, baby. There's T's Jams. Okay, guys, we should be good. I mean, we did a lot of coding the note boxes for these skills, but they needed it really bad, and we have to test them all. So it might be a good idea to change the level of the skills for now. Should I do that? Classes, Bard, and just give the Bard all the skills to test them. We should do that, huh? Yeah, we'll do that, and then starting here we'll go 19, 20, 21, so forth, and so on. So just to test them, or you know what I could do to make it easier? I'm going to go ahead and put this back to 20. I'm going to tell the Bard to start at level 30. Oh, I need to add the other Trinities. So after this point, you would get all the Trinities again, all the Trinities again, all the Trinities again. Okay, that was a lot at one time. Fire Trinity starts here, and then it goes to Fire again at here we go. So we're gonna do Fire Trinity 2. Oh, what am I talking about? You don't need all these skills. I'm stupid. Sorry guys, I'm stupid. You don't give like extra skills, you make states and then you have the one skill. Otherwise it's just like super long and dumb. All the way down. Nope. Too fast. I'll be done fire. Is that right now? We go down here, fire, threnody, ice, thunder, water, earth, wind, lightning, dark. Wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. 34. Did I make the skills for the other three entities? That's a question. That's a big question mark. I made the states for them. Yep, Fusion Threnody and Astral Threnody. We'll just copy paste and then change this one to 36 and the next one, Astral Threnody. Boom. Okay, so now the bard is set up to level 36. Sure. There we go. Okay, so let's start the bard, or the actor, who's going to be our bard, to be level 36, right? Skills, 36. Good. Alright, let's play test, guys. We got 30 minutes to play test. What we can do is, can we continue the game? I want to do one thing real quick, just to make sure. Nope, not this. Wrong one. Give me the volume mixer. And when I hit play on this, this should give me this bad mamma jamma. We're going to bring this down to inaudible levels. That's what I want. Okay, and I can minimize this so they can see that. Terry Ramoni, thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate that. Hit that accept button. Hey Jaime, I'm making a game and I was wondering if you want to join our two-person team, says the Dynamic Dudes. We have the Eventer, being the Dynamic Dudes, Jaden, the audio person, and if you want to join, it would make the game better. Obviously as a map maker, if you wanted to. There you go. You got a volunteer work job offer. That's the first question. How much are you paying? Did I save with the bard? Oh, that's a problem. How far back are we? Those games are... you know what I really... Gosh, I started with the bard. I have an idea. This is going to be jank, but we're in a playtest, so I can actually go back into this and say debug. And what was the trigger that turned on? It was a variable. It was a variable. So let's go to debug. Oh yeah, switches to variables. And find, this is going to be a variable, it's a variable fix. Now this is going to be a jank way to fix getting the bard again. So unlock the bard quest. I'm going to put this on 2. So what's going to happen is the bard's going to be here again and he should join us again. Yep, there he is. Hey, got it. All right, yeah. Oh my gosh. And the first fight will be the level 18 bard. But I'm going to swap them out. Oh no, it freezes forever because there's impassable movement event. Okay, so that didn't work. I will fix it. That's not how the player is going to play anyway. Let me make a quick event that will fix this, and I can jank my way through it without having to play through or do a crazy new game setup. So what I'll do is, I guess right here. I could do it right here because I'll make something that will change party members, and it'll just take away Dark Hero. Remove him. Get him out of the party. And it will look like this person. And it will play an animation because why not? Animations are fun. We're going to put it on the player. And I'm going to do a random one. Aqua Shot. No, that one we've seen a lot. Random one, but not truly random because I'm actually picking something. This one. Wait for it to complete. Play an animation, do that, and then do a self switch. These are my jank fixes. Do not do as I do. This is not the way to do things. And then it's gone because we're also going to delete that as well. Because the problem is I need to test when you get the bard because I made them super high level to try all these new changes. But I already got the bard in my previous playthrough. So I'm gonna go in here, even though I already have the bard. I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up? And she can bloom, play an animation, and get rid of the bard. Okay, so now I can do this jank little fix with the debug and go into my variables and reset the quest so that it's not on the we've already got the bard part. It's on the we're about to get the bard part, and then we don't have him, so we're going to get him at a higher level. There we go. Wait, I got something for you. La da 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 da. You gave him something, and he plays it. He plays the sound effect. Looks like the beastie wants an encore. And now we have our bard, and he's going first, of course, because he's level 36. And we have all of the spells, because, of course we do. Let's start at the top one. We're going to crash, I'm assuming this, so just a heads up. How much HP is this going to heal from the start? Perfect. I think that's great, because it gets stronger every time you use it. I'm going to do this now to see if it crashes us. I mean, I'm sure we've got some code errors somewhere. It didn't crash us. Good. I mean, I don't really need you to do anything. Just, I guess, attack. You know, just guard. Alright, let's try bolster morale. This is going to give everybody a TP bonus, and it's good for Dark Hero because he needs his TP, or in this case LP, to do stuff. Still need to test these two, but let's do the Foe's Requiem. Okay, good. It should do very little damage because it's going to hit everything, and it gets stronger over time. We're going to have him guard. Guard again. He's got to get some TPs up in here. Okay, Insight Intent. Use your EP to destroy the LP of the party. We need to test it out. I mean, actually, we're not going to do that right now. Let's do Striker's Minuet. Let's see. Enhance the strength of your party based on your skill. You should just do like 3 rounds now, I think. It didn't do anything. So if that one doesn't work, the rest of them are also not going to work. Unfortunately. So we know there's a bug with that one. So I'm assuming, I'm going to try it anyway, but I'm assuming this will do nothing. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, so we know there's a bug on all of the stat boosting ones in the code. So far the others have been good. Let's give him another guard, get some TP up in here. Guard. Song spell. We don't need to test these, we know there's a bug in there. But we want to test the Thrinities. I can test the Thrinities with, yeah, let's do that. Guard. And you keep doing provoke stuff. Alright, let's do Fire Trinity. Let's see if that works without crashing us. No! Are you kidding me? That's not working either. That's unfortunate. So we know the Thrinities are still broke, and all of the stat buff stuff is still broke. Which is essentially most of his stuff. Okay, so most of his skills are broke. What works? The healers, the boost morale. We don't know if the Phoenix one works, but I'm going to test that now. Because we have a dead party member, which is the way to do it. Phoenix Payon, wake up Olgwyn and don't crash us. Nope, dot revive, it did not hit her. It did not. Yeah, none of that worked. That's great. Healers works. Hey, you got a good skill. You can heal and give us TP. You're still, and you can deal damage. 100% useful. All right. Is there anything else we need to test? Yeah, the TP move. We need to do the insight intent one to see if it actually works. Which means we need to spend some TP to see if it gives us TP. So I'm gonna have him guard one more time, and then I'm gonna just use what uses the most TP. Charge Soul. Okay, and same thing with Arturus. Use what uses the most TP. I suppose if it works on Driftwood, it'll also work on Arturus. Plus, he's not max, so I'll see it go up. Insight Intent on the party. Gives everybody 20. With even Dark Hero. So it costs 50 to use, but you get 20 back. So it only takes 30 TP to give everybody 20 TP. That's a really good one. I mean, that is good, and it works. So that's fantastic. So as far as what code is working, the Healer's Payon's working. The I'm sure the Ballad's working as well. 100 T. Why does it cost so much? I think I should reduce that to 50 maybe. I know why, because it's just so strong. Because restoring MP to the party, in most games, this one as well, restoring MP is like an expensive thing. So let's see if it does restore MP. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, it did. Okay, so as for what works and what does not work, all of the stat buffing stuff does not work, and all of the element boosting stuff does not work. Healers and also the raising doesn't work. So healing HP, healing MP, doing TP regeneration, and dealing damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of them work, and the rest don't. Luckily, when we figure out just one of the stat boosting, we'll figure the bug out for all 6 of them. And when we figure out one of the Trinity bug, when we figure that out, it'll work for all of them. So it's really only 2 things there. 3 things. The third one is the Phoenix Payon. So we have 3 bugs minimum. Okay, well, we did the test that we needed to test. We have 3 bugs that we've got to figure out. I really hope that I can figure these out. Okay, let's start with the Phoenix Payon, because this one is probably going to be the hardest. So if you have a member, is this code working? Is this for loop working? Checking game party members. So member.length increase. Remember, if you have a member, is that member with the index of the next one? 0, 0. So for each member, I mean, yeah, that works. If you have a member, then member.revive may not be working. Or maybe the scope. Oh my gosh. Maybe I have to change the scope for it to work. All allies dead. Because it's a revive. So it's not targeting them. There is no member that's still alive that needs to be revived. But now if we're targeting the members that are dead, that might have been the bug. Okay, so we'll try that one again. Now let's move on down to the stat boosting ones. We also didn't check to see if our skills were going up, and they should have been. So from the top, we're doing a custom execution. This is using the damage core, I believe. Variable x. Take that variable divided by 25. It should store it in a float, so I mean it should be like, even at 1, you're dealing with, I believe I set all the skills to 1, so we're not dividing by a 0 number, right? Is that what's causing the bug? Are we trying to divide 0? I initialized those variables, did I not? Let me just see if it's an let me just see if it is an initialization error. And I can do this by checking Bard skills initialized. I set it to 1. Skill, no, status. That's why this plugin comes in handy too. The information. Yeah, I've initialized all of them. So they're not, none of the skills are 0. They're set and they are going up. None of the skills are 0, they're all initialized, so it's not an initialization error. And you divide 1 by 25 and you get a fraction, which shouldn't matter because you're taking another temporary variable and setting that fraction plus that fraction and then plus 3, and so you have 3 point something at the beginning. And then when you add the buff, the number of rounds, it will be 3 point something something. Maybe you can't pass a float value into add buff. Is that what's happening? So maybe we just go like, we encapsulate this entire definition of R and say to int, or wait, do we go like this, dot to int? I gotta look up how to do it again. Easy, not a big deal. Let me open up a tab and say JS, how to make a float value an int value. Like I can't memorize all this stuff. It's like, it's a simple thing that I should just have memorized, but I don't know, my brain is just not letting me memorize it. Like, I know that there's a function here that does that, but I just can't remember like what is the right word for it? Now I have no vocabulary because I'm trying to read. Okay, so we can truncate it, we can floor it, we can add, we can make it, take the ceiling value or round it. So we just mathed out round. So we use a math function. I bet we can use a to int. I bet we can. But I don't really care. This is the way it says it should be done, so I'll do it like this. Math dot, what do we want to do? Round it, floor it. Round it down. Let's just round it down. It's got to be above the full integer to go up. That's the way. So we're going to math.floor the value of what's in R. So before I go and change all of them, I'm going to just change the strikers and see if we get that working. And if that fix works, then we'll go through and change it, all of them that way. Because I'm sure it'll take a few tries if this doesn't work. So let's try to make the value of our temporary variable R an integer before we pass it into add buff function, because maybe if we pass 3 point something something, it doesn't know how to handle that. I mean, you think it would, but you never know until you try. So let's math.floor the value of R, which is x plus y plus 3. So at the beginning, it's really just going to be 3 until you have at least 25 of this or 50 of this or one more combination. Or like 12 and 25. No, 13 and 25 would make it 4. Yes, okay. Whatever, let's try Strikers Minuet. I gotta do my jank fix again. Oh, man. You know what I should do? I should just save the game. Save the game on, like, I'll do that. Easy. Let me do my jank fix. Boom. Got rid of him. Debug. variable 17 goes to 2. And yeah, we'll save on 9 here. There we go. I got a lot of stuff open. Holy crap. Arcturus mustache is thick. Hey Silver, what did I miss? I don't know. I'm working in this episode. I've mainly been working on the custom execution code in the note box of the Bard skills because he was way underpowered. He's supposed to be a little weak, but he's just extremely underpowered. So I'm trying to rebalance his skills before I, push an update. Please give buffs. No buffs were given. 0 buffs were given. Okay, so that didn't fix it. If there is a member add buff. Attack buff by that. Why? but why though? Oh my god. Does custom execution do the thing? What are we using custom execution? We are doing custom execution for this. However, the damage is straight up right here. Is it doing any of that? Yeah, because it's changing variable values. So if it's changing the variable values, then custom execution is working. It's actually running. It's just my code isn't working. That's the functionality is in the game. I just not doing it right. Oh my god, do you guys see the bug? Tell me you see the bug. Did I copy paste the bug? I copy paste the bug in the entire thing. Who sees the bug? It's evident. Where's the bug in the custom notes? Somebody's got to show me. Who sees it? It's right here. let me zoom in a little bit. Who sees the bug? Where's the bug? Where's the bug? Can I get an equal sign? Parentheses, I found the bug. I'm putting this in Discord. Rip my 20 minutes. Guys, variable y, we're not giving it any instructions. We're just saying variable y, blah, 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 blah. And so it just says, okay, it would normally crash, but somewhere Yanfly put a failsafe so that it just doesn't crash. It just ignores it. It's like, oh yeah, you don't know what you're doing. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. I don't think we needed to round it, actually, but I'm just going to say that I'll take that change. Math.floor. We're going to do that as well. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's going to work, but we don't know. Let's try it out. Math.round. We'll encapsulate and round this. Did I round or did I floor it? I floored it. Let's floor it. Flort. Let's flort it. I'm happy I found it, but there might be more bugs. I was pretty sure we were going to encounter some. I'm just trying to rush through a bunch of skills super quickly. It might have been a combination of both these things, to be honest. So it might have been 2 things, but I'm pretty sure you can pass, and I can test this, you can pass the value of a float value into add buff for the number of rounds. It should automatically floor it or round it or seal it through the ceiling, but to be sure, I'm going to just floor the value of what we're passing into it first. Beforehand. Can I get an equal sign? was like, why is it doing nothing? Am I doing that somewhere else too? It's likely. Okay, so that might work, but while we're in here, let's also look at, real quick, did I forget an equal sign somewhere here on the Thrinities as well? What is going on? Yeah, I don't know. I have to come back to this and look at this one. Let's see if we fix the stat altering skills, and then I'll come back to Trinity. The Trinities are the bane of my existence. Even when I made them the first time, I was like, I don't know how to use these right. I don't know how to make them adjust based on my skill. And then I'm like, well, what I would like for them to do is give more stat bonus or more element damage bonus based on how high my skill is. But then I have to do that incremented in steps and then make conditions and have like several states. And that's what I ended up doing. I was too lazy to do that earlier. And I was like, there's a better way. And there probably is. There probably is a much better way to do it. Alright, tell me that Striker's Minuet adds buffs, please. Hey, we did it. It works. We get buffs. Everyone, you get a buff. You get a buff. Look under your seat, everybody. There's a buff under the seat. Guys, I got it in the live stream right here. I'm going to keep looking at the Threnody things and try to get something to work right. Let me see if they magically fix themselves, because, you know, sometimes that happens, right? If you stare at it, it just works. What did I put for Threnities? 30? No, 50. Okay. Yeah, thanks for coming to the live stream, everybody. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Fire Threnody. No, this doesn't give anything. Nothing. Right. Okay, so I have to fix that bug, which I'll work on. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be like, check it out, I forgot an equal sign here. Or something like that. But anyway, thanks for coming to the coding. I guess we were coding today mostly for like 90 minutes, staring at a little text box. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just going to work on my game, and hopefully I'm helpful to you guys. As always, if you have any questions, I'll do my best to read the chat and answer you guys. If you have any more questions during when I'm not live streaming, come to the Discord. Links in the description below. I'd love to have you come hang out. You can promote your stuff there. There's a self-promo channel. There's lots of resources there. I post random videos that I like there. Gaming news, big stuff that happens in the industry, I post there. And I follow other content creators, and I forward and share their videos as well when I think they're interesting and worth your time. Yeah, if I see good deals on Steam, I have a gaming news page where I say, hey, check out this deal, it's 80% off or whatever, or you can play this for free for the weekend. I always do that too. So yeah, come to the Discord, really appreciate that. If you would like to monetarily support what I do, I have a Patreon, links in the description below. I love you guys. We'll see you guys on Monday. I stream 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. So maybe I'll stream tomorrow, but probably not. I don't want to get into the schedule of doing too much because then I'll burn out. You guys know what's up. Love you guys. Mwah. Thanks for coming to the live stream. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. Also, if you would like to see a tutorial, let me know what plugin you'd like me to cover a tutorial on, or what specific thing. I'm hearing a lot about Dragon Bones, and oh my gosh, it's going to be a tough one to like really get right and not just put out some garbage. So I'm going to maybe do Dragon Bones, but I do have a plan. I said at the beginning of the video I'm going to put out weekly or bi-weekly tutorials to get back on track and everything. Hey, it works. Also, custom animations. You gotta do custom animations. I am still live streaming. That's right. Okay. Bye, guys.